This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
And not just any Farm Monitor show. This week, we're bringing you our election special of 2020. The Georgia Farm Bureau elections, that is, not the other one that involves Washington, D.C.
That is right. And it was an election like no other in Georgia Farm Bureau history. Voting delegates spread throughout the state at 10 different locations. John Holcomb talks to a Farm Bureau leader on what it took to make it happen in the midst of a worldwide pandemic. Also on the program, the man delegates chose to be their next president. Tom McCall, family man, farmer, good health. He apparently has it all. So what attracted him to return to Farm Bureau, the place that launched his career as a state representative?
Plus, call it bittersweet if you will, my one-on-one conversation with outgoing President Gerald Long. He's leaving on his own terms, having done so much for the organization. What it means to him to be back home in Bainbridge and back home on the farm. These stories and so much more start right now on the Farm Monitor.
The 2020 Georgia Farm Bureau elections will be remembered for many things. For one, the voting process took place in each of the 10 GFB districts instead of the usual location, which is Jekyll Island, every 2 years. Additionally, it marked a new era in leadership as Tom McCall became the 13th president in the company's long, rich history. John Holcomb begins our coverage in Gordon County.
The unofficial word of the year for 2020 is without a doubt pivot, as everyone has had to pivot from their original plans due to COVID-19. Georgia Farm Bureau is no exception after they had to cancel their yearly convention and pivot to district election meetings instead to make sure business got done.
We're required in the bylaws to elect our officers and directors in the month of November, December each year at an annual meeting, and that's something that we're required to do in the bylaws. And we normally do that in conjunction with our convention because everybody enjoys that. It's kind of a big family reunion and things like that. But COVID has made that impossible. We can't get that many people together at one time to do that. So we had to come up with some way that we can be in compliance with our bylaws as far as the elections go so that we can do that. And the best way that we could come up with was these district election meetings so that our members can come together in an area close to where they are. We can keep the crowd small enough so that we can have social distancing, wearing masks, taking temperatures, all those kinds of things, those COVID protocols that we intend to follow. So we could keep everybody safe because the safety of our members is the utmost importance to us. But we want to do that while we can also elect our officers and directors. And so that's how we came up with the district election meeting procedures. It's a lot different from our convention, but this is a different year.
As you can imagine, the decision was not an easy one for leadership to make, given the fact that they've held convention every year in Jekyll for decades.
We didn't come to this decision very easily. There was a lot of thought that went into it because, number one, we all just wanted to have the convention. That's what we would normally have. But we got to looking at what the options were, planning out into the future. And if we didn't plan to have some kind of some type of substitute for a convention, where would we be if down the road we weren't able to have the meeting? We have to have our elections. We have to do that. It's required. And, we had to have a plan, and we couldn't wait until 2 weeks out.
But just like most people, they're already looking into 2021 with optimism that things will be better, and are planning for the regular routine of having it down on Jekyll Island next year.
Well, our plans right now are next year to have a regular convention, to have a convention down at Jekyll Island at the regular time, just like we always do. That is our intention. Of course, our intention was to do that this year too, but COVID changed our minds and government regulations related to that. But our intent right now is to have a regular convention next year. Everybody wants to have a regular convention. That convention is like a big family reunion. And it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, but we've been doing it for 82 years, so we pretty well know the drill. We would much rather have had a convention this year, and we're certainly looking forward to having a regular convention next year, just like we always have.
Reporting in Gordon County for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Well, turning your attention now to the new president. During his 26 years as a state representative, Tom McCall was viewed as an authority on agricultural issues, advocating for a number of beneficial changes within the farming community. Damon Jones takes a look back at his distinguished career and tells you how he ultimately would like to be remembered at the state capitol.
While not exactly the path he envisioned, Tom McCall spent more than a quarter century as a state representative, becoming an ambassador for the agricultural industry in Georgia. It's a political career that, while unexpected, he says was very fulfilling.
I've been on ag, natural resources, and transportation since 1995. And the opportunity to be the chairman of agriculture for the last 15 years it's been an honor. Never was anything that I thought I'd ever do. But like I say, folks, they've been real nice and have been re-electing me ever since 1994.
During that time, he ushered along important legislation like CUVA and the GATE program, as well as eliminating ad valorem taxes on farm machinery and livestock. However, it might be his work on water issues that he'll be most remembered for.
If those farmers in South Georgia hadn't retrofitted their irrigation systems, and if we hadn't put meters on them, which I did all that, as far as the legislation to do that, then Georgia wouldn't have had the factual numbers that they had to go to court with. And that's why we came out on the good end of the stick with the Florida water wars.
It's these types of concerns that made his presence in Atlanta so vital, especially considering the representation for agriculture has dwindled over the years.
I think it's about 5 farmers in the House and 1 or 2 in the Senate. And it is important to have somebody that understands hands-on what we do for a living to represent and take care and try to protect and promote agriculture. You know, you get a lot of cooperation from people up here. They understand, and if they don't, we remind them every once in a while, as often as we can, where their food and their clothes and the shelter comes from.
Despite all of his good work in the legislative arena, it's not his accomplishments that McCall wants to be most remembered for.
I hope they say that I was a family man first, that my family came before anything. I hope they say that I was honest, and I hope they say that I was somebody that they could depend on telling them the truth, and I hope they say that I was an advocate for agriculture.
Reporting from Fulton County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
So now that you know some of his accomplishments as a state lawmaker, what about Tom McCall, the person, the family man, and now president of Georgia Farm Bureau? That's coming up next when the Monitor continues.
All right, welcome back to the Farm Monitor. We will have more on our special election coverage in just a few minutes. But first, we wanted to kind of look ahead to Christmas, give you some ideas, some recipe ideas for your guests that are coming in. As always, I am joined by my good buddy and partner in crime, Marcia Crowley. Thanks so much, Marcia. Good to see you too. Merry early Christmas.
Not that early, but
yeah, not that early, but a few things that we got going on today. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Okay, we're going to start with the best part first because I don't want my chocolate to melt.
Okay.
This is peppermint bark,
Yum.
homemade peppermint bark, and you can buy this in one of the gourmet food stores for at least $30 for a little tin. So this is going to be much cheaper. This is 2 cups of broken chocolate from a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Do not use the morsels and do not use any chocolate with palm oil in it because it will not work.
Okay.
It'll separate. So this has got cocoa butter in it as an ingredient, and you can find that obviously on the back of the box, the list of ingredients. All right, I've melted this, put it in the fridge, let it harden, and we're going to put on top of that the second layer, which is obviously melted white chocolate. And you're going to melt this, you can melt in a double boiler, which I don't have, so I did the microwave. And it's about 30-second increments, and it takes about 2 minutes, depending on your microwave. You
Okay.
spread that. And like I said, you need to chill the bottom layer before you add this top one. So easy. Then you're going to sprinkle crushed, I forgot to add peppermint extract, add a teaspoon of peppermint extract to the white layer.
Okay.
This is crushed peppermint candy. Put that on the top like so. Put it back in the fridge for about 30 minutes. And you can cut it, break it apart, however you want to do it. And you have peppermint bark. It's that easy.
And then next we have my favorite, pimento cheese, homemade pimento cheese.
Homemade. We've done homemade pimento cheese. This is a pimento cheese dip.
Okay.
And it is good. This is softened 8-ounce package of cream cheese, a cup of sharp cheddar cheese, a cup of Colby Jack, which you could really use any kind of cheese you wanted. I guess it wouldn't be traditional pimento cheese. You're going to add to that 2 tablespoons of chopped jalapeno pepper, and these are from a jar. You could obviously use fresh. A little bit of hot sauce, depending on what you like. A small jar of pimentos. This is a 4-ounce jar. And about 2 tablespoons of sour cream.
Very nice.
Stir all that up. Bake it, put it in an 8-inch baking pan. And you can double this recipe, obviously be really easy to double. Serve it with chips, crackers, or I have mine on little biscuit appetizers.
Right. And then the final recipe, it will be on our website at farm-monitor.com. We're looking at some stuffed
mushrooms, sausage stuffed mushrooms.
Everybody has has their own recipes that they like to make with the mushrooms. But again, you can find all these recipes logging on to farm-monitor.com. Marcia, as always, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Have a happy New Year. We will see you next year. In the meantime, let's go ahead and send it back to Kenny for more election coverage.
All right, Ray, thanks so much. Elbert County, Georgia, the granite capital of the world, fitting because its most popular resident and native son, Tom McCall, is solid as a rock, both as an advocate for agriculture and as a family man. Family and Ag, the 2 foundations Tom McCall hopes to build upon as the next president of Georgia Farm Bureau. Tom, you growing up on the farm like this, how did that prepare you to be president of Georgia Farm Bureau?
Well, first off, Farm Bureau was agriculture. So I've been doing that all my life. And then when you grow stuff and have to depend on somebody in Chicago that's never seen a bowl of cotton or a soybean setting the prices on what you get for what you grow, it makes you learn how to be a manager of your inputs and how you run your operation. So I think that kind of, you may not want to call it business experience, but it is business experience. Helps you understand the importance of not spending a bunch of money when you don't need to, but you have to when you do need to, and seeing where the profits are going to be.
Why did you want to do this? You had a great career as representative in the State House, beautiful family and farm. What makes you want to be president of the largest ag organization in the state representing farmers?
I mean, you can look around here and see that ag is, you bleed ag. And I grew up through Farm Bureau. My daddy sold memberships to start Elbert County Farm Bureau. And Jane's first cousin was the first insurance agent ever hired by Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance. And so we go way back with Farm Bureau, and then I came up through Farm Bureau, through the county, and then was State Young Farmer Chairman and was on the board, and then was lucky enough for folks in this district to elect me to the legislature, and then was lucky enough for the speaker to let me be ag chairman for 16 years. And then, you stay there 26 years, it's time for somebody smarter than me to bring in some new ideas and new blood to it. And this just kind of fell into place when Mr. Gerald decided he was going to retire, or had said he was. And then when folks found out I was going to quit the legislature, they started calling me from all over the state to do this. Come back home is what we did. And Farm Bureau is the most important thing as far as protecting what farmers do and what farmers have in the state of Georgia.
As you think about the big picture, you leave the state representative position, you go into Farm Bureau. When you're said and done with all of this, what's going to be a Tom McCall legacy you hope to accomplish?
The most important thing to me is the fact that those two little boys you just saw, I don't inherit this place from my grandparents. I'm borrowing it from my grandkids, and you got to take care of it, and that would be my personal legacy, you know. And you know, the way you tell how successful somebody in life was is how many folks show up at the funeral. And you know, I hope I have a general understanding, and I hope people understand that I did everything I could to take care of agriculture and especially the producers and farmers in this state.
This is beautiful. Elbert County is beautiful. I know you're proud of it. Could you
We
take
are.
us to one of your favorite spots in town and show us around?
Well, we'd be glad to take you to what Elbert County is famous for, other than the people, you know, and you know, Elbert County is the granite capital of the world, and when folks don't know where Elbert County is, I have to try to explain to them, and then the last thing I tell them is you're gonna need us one day, because that's where all your tombstones come from.
Many people don't realize how much it takes to put granite in houses and things such as that. This is where it's coming from, right here.
This is the start of it right here, and they take these blocks and turn them into statues and tombstones and countertops.
All over the world?
All over the world. This stuff is shipped all over the world.
What kind of impact on the economy does it have in
It's the
Elbert County?
biggest. If Elberton didn't have the granite business, our economy would be in the tank.
3-county region?
Roughly 3 counties, yeah.
Talk to
right
me
here.
about those counties and the land area it covers.
Mainly Oglethorpe, Elbert, and some in Wilkes counties. And there's maybe a couple of 3 in Madison, but most of it is in Oglethorpe and Elbert.
And a lot of that region is what you represented in the state
That's
house.
right. That's right, and that's why I had to look after granite people so much. And but it creates a lot of jobs and a lot of income and a lot of additions to the economy in this area.
Tom, thanks so much for showing us around. This is so impressive. We appreciate it. Welcome to Farm Bureau. We're looking forward to working with you, and I know the volunteers and members are really excited about you being on board.
Well, I hope so, and thank you all for taking time, and I hope we hadn't spent too much of your time today showing you what we're proud of in this part of the country.
Yeah, some great family values there. Well, up next, it's time to bid a fond farewell to outgoing President Gerald Long. With over 4 decades of service to Georgia Farm Bureau, he shares with us some of his fondest memories. Finally this week, since no one likes goodbyes, let's just say farewell until next time. After nearly 5 years of visionary service as Georgia Farm Bureau President, Gerald Long is now back home in Decatur County and once again a full-time farmer. He leaves behind a lasting imprint on the lives of employees, volunteers, and most importantly, his fellow farmers across Georgia. So I chose this location because this is your home away from home. This is where you're most comfortable out on the field.
Absolutely.
Out on the field. 45 years, Mr. Long, in a leadership role at Farm Bureau, 5 years as Georgia Farm Bureau President. It's all over, done, complete. Are you walking away having accomplished everything that you accomplished?
Oh no, never accomplish everything you want to accomplish, but I have accomplished quite a bit with the support of the board, staff, and management, you know. But now I'm not coming home and getting out of Farm Bureau. I'll still be involved on the county board, county leadership. I'll continue that as long as I'm able to.
Mm-hmm. You look back at your time, whether it be as a board member, whether it be as Georgia Farm Bureau President, looking at those years, what were some of your fondest memories? What are you most proud of as your accomplishments?
Well, I guess getting involved in an organization that represents agriculture, and I've told this story several times. John Bridges was agency manager for, I think, 37 years in Decatur County. When I came back in 1972, started farming in 73. John came out to see me. Of course, I had insurance already with Farm Bureau. I was already a member. And he came out to see me, and he wanted me to get involved in Farm Bureau, get actively involved. And I questioned him. I said, well, you know, I'm a member, John. He says, no, Jerry, you need to go further than that. You need to get involved on the county level. And he says, because you can make a difference. And I've never forgot that to this day. That made a difference in my life, getting involved in Farm Bureau, sort of seeing how it operated, how it functioned, and all of that, I think, had a lot to do with me getting prepared to be president of this organization.
I know you don't like accolades. I've known you long enough. You don't like pats on the back because you think that that's your character, that's your job. This is what I was put here to do. This is what God had me do. But now that you're leaving, what would you like for your legacy to be?
You know, that's a tough question, Ray. I guess, you know, that by being involved, anytime you can, I feel like, and I don't like to brag or boast or anything, but anytime I think you got accomplishments that helps not yourself but helps the community, I think that's what our responsibilities are as leaders, you know. But you know, going up through as a county board member, as a county president, serving on the different commodity committees, the beef cattle, the vegetable, serving on them on the state level, then getting elected to the board in 1999 on the state board. You know, all of that was a process over many years. It didn't just happen. It was a process to get involved, to stay involved, and I guess that's my proudest part, is that I worked up what I call up through the system. There's a lot of things that we've accomplished.
Yeah. No more tough questions, I promise. And I just have
That's
one.
okay.
And I just have one
That's
final
all
question for you. As you leave, what message would you have to the current leadership at Farm Bureau?
The current leadership, to thank them for, I guess, the support they've given, not just myself, but the organization. To have to make tough decisions as leaders in this organization that affects everywhere from a member to a county Farm Bureau. We have a lot of influence. We have a lot of responsibility, and not just the board of directors, but staff and management, the support they've given me. That means all the world to me. That I'm proud of. I really am.
I don't like goodbyes, and I'll try to do this without getting emotional. From my standpoint, it's been an honor to work with you for 8 years. I thank you for everything you've done for me, everything you've done for the Farm Monitor. You are going to be missed. We do wish you the best of luck, so let's please stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Don't be a stranger.
You know, and I'm going to miss being president. I'm going to miss being in Macon. I'm going to miss meeting the people and working with the, whether it be legislators or whoever, leaders in this state and this nation. I'm going to miss that. There's no doubt about it. But it's time for me to come home, to be with the family, to be back on the farm. But there's no doubt God called me to be a farmer. I'm looking forward to it. However, it's going to be a void there for quite some time. But I do want to stay involved back on the county level. I intend on going to the convention. Hopefully we can have it back at Jekyll this next year. I look forward to that, to seeing friends and fellow board members, but then all my friends and the members that I've had opportunity to meet throughout this state has just been phenomenal.
Well, again,
I'm going to miss it.
thank you for everything.
Thank you, Ray.
I'm not going to lie, that was a tough one. Again, President Long, you're the best. thank you for being you. And thanks to you, the viewers, for making this show possible.
Before we send you on your way, a friendly reminder that for all the latest ag news regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening out on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including our website, farm-monitor.com. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of agriculture and with us here on the show. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week for our annual Reporter Favorite specials. Have a great week.